to Woburn's Gold Lighting Ceremony to help spread awareness of childhood cancer. I want to thank Mayor Galvin for proclaiming September Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Once again, without his support in Tony's drive, none of this would have happened. Let me introduce you to Mayor Galvin, who will be orating the proclamation.
Thank you, Brenda. Brenda's too modest. This event, this is Brenda's idea to start this, and Brenda's really turned it into an annual event that's worthy of why we're here to celebrate and to recognize the terrible battle that some of our children have to go through, and some unfortunately lose their lives, others battle through it. And Brenda, thank you for bringing this to fruition and others else. Also, I'd like to recognize the DPW, who annually does a great job with the lights. You see, it's lit up with yellow, and they put up the flag. So Lenny, Todd, Johnny Morales, thank you guys for what you do every day. Thanks. And then I'd like to recognize some of our officials. I see Pat Chisholm from the school committee. Pat never misses an event. She's a great school committee person too. Pat, thank you for being here. We also have Mike Mulrennan, school committee, fireman, everything else. Thanks, Mike, as well. A couple city councilors who are always at the events, Darlene Bruin from Ward 5, and also Lindsay Higgins, Ward 7. Thanks for your support. And again, as I say, today's a very special day in the city of Woburn. And you know, a good friend of mine, Tony Stoddard, former Woburn High grad, has really been the driving force across not only Woburn, but across the country for getting the whole yellow light recognition started. And you'll see yellow lights at stadiums, you'll see some of the football players, athletes wear it. And Tony was the driving force. When Tony called me, I couldn't be more happy to do it. So Tony, thank you for what you do. And the struggles that this man has gone through, lost his life, his son's life to cancer at a very young age. And Tony, during his fight and during the recognition, also came down with cancer. And now Tony's a survivor, a true battler, a true courage, Tony. Thank you. And everybody should look at him and see what he does. The guy is fantastic. Can't say enough good things about you, Tony. Thank you. So I'd like to do a proclamation that I do annually. So whereas an estimated 16,000 children will be diagnosed with cancer this year alone, a staggering and a heartbreaking statistic by any measure. And whereas cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children under the age of 15 in the United States, and yet only 3 new drugs have been approved by the FDA for specific treatment of pediatric cancer in the last 20 years. Only 3. And whereas Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is a way to join other communities across the nation to help these children by shining a light on the urgent need for research and new cures specifically aimed at childhood cancer. And whereas the Woburn Childhood Cancer Awareness Committee came together when Tony's son tragically lost his battle with cancer, and a cancer research organization called Smiles for Cole was created in his memory to benefit others. Therefore, let it be known, the city of Woburn hereby extends its wishes of good health to all children battling all types of cancer, and urges all of our citizens to support charitable efforts of local organizations working to raise awareness and to find a cure. Now I, Scott Galvin, Mayor of the City of Woburn, do hereby ask all Woburn residents to join me as we help to light the city's common gold for the entire month of September. And we recognize the month as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Woburn. Thank you. I'm going to turn it back to Brenda, and I just wanted to recognize 2 other people. First, my assistant, Marie Lingblom, who's also a great help and is a great help in organizing any events. Marie, person behind the scenes. Thanks, Marie. Thank you. And also Jeff Dillon, candidate for Ward 3. Jeff's been doing a great job out in the trails. If you see him, invite him in. If he knocks on your door, invite him in for a glass of water. He's a hard-working guy. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Mayor Galvin. Now let me introduce you to Buddy Fanjoy, who has been involved in this event for years and has written an original song after contemplating about children with cancer. Let's hear Light It Up Gold.
Thank you, Brenda. So yeah, just before I sing this, this came to me a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking, I'd like to write a song for this child cancer awareness. And I said, we're going to write a prayer song, more contemplative, and that didn't happen. I thought of Tony, as the mayor was mentioning, just what an example he is, and just the courage and the strength. And so this is more of a fight type of a song. It's called Light It Up Gold. Hopefully I'll get through it. It's brand new, but we'll give it a shot. Lights down up, light it up, gold. Never will forget, never will let go. Light this town up for all the world to see. The flame that's burning bright, flame that's burning free. Light it up, gold. For the young ones trying to overcome, let us be their voice, let us be the ones. Light the candle, keep it burning bright, hold on to the hope, staying in the fight. Light this town up, light it up and go. Never will forget, we never will let go. Light this town up for all the world to see. The flame that's burning bright, flame that's burning free. Light it up, gold. It's a battle worthy to be fought. Never lay it down, give it all you got, till we see the day of victory. No more pain, the way that it should be. Light this town up, light it up and gold. I never will forget, we never will let go. Light this town up for all the world to see. The flame that's burning bright, flame that's burning free. Light it up, gold. Light it up, gold.
That was beautiful. Thanks, buddy. And a shout out to John Murphy, who couldn't make it this year, and we miss him.
Yes.
And thanks to all of you who are honoring all the kids that are battling cancer and remembering all the heroes that have passed. These angels often become the family's driving force to create fundraisers to help future children battling this disease. Lots of research dollars are privately funded by these families after realizing that the National Cancer Institute only puts aside 4 cents of every dollar to all 12 childhood cancers. Cancer in children differs from adults with cancer because it's usually found in its later stages. In 80% of kids, cancer has already spread to other parts of their body by the time it's diagnosed. The causes of most childhood cancers are unknown and are not strongly linked to lifestyle or environmental risk factors, unlike many adult cancers. Of the kids who survive this disease in their treatments, more than 95% will suffer from chronic health problems in the future. Research needs to be focused on preventing lifelong damage that results from these treatments on these young kids while they're just developing. Adult treatment should not be their only choice. Did you know that what we know about treating adult cancers was found through childhood cancer research? Some sad statistics. Before the age of 20, 1 in 285 children in the U.S. will be diagnosed with cancer. The average age of a child diagnosed with cancer is 6. In the 50s, most kids diagnosed with cancer did not survive. Because of the research today, 90% of the children with the most common type of cancer will live. But for many of the other types, progress has not been so kind, and for some kids, there's little hope for a cure. Most adults don't even think about childhood cancer until it hits close to home. The symptoms in children, fever, swollen glands, fatigue, paleness, anemia, changes in sleeping habits or unusual irritability, nausea, bruises, and infection are common symptoms that are often overlooked in the early stages. They are often treated as other routine childhood illnesses. You must be your child's advocate. If you feel something is not right or symptoms are persistent, keep asking questions. Get a second opinion. Childhood cancer is the #1 cause of death by disease in children under age 15 in the U.S. Research is vastly underfunded. In the U.S., the incidence of cancer among adolescents and young adults is increasing at a greater rate than any other age group, except those who are 65 years or older. Now that you're aware, please help spread the word. Get involved. It starts with awareness, which brings help with funding. Funding will promote research, and research will find a cure or kind of treatments. Now I'd like to have Nancy Whipple come up to speak about her son, Alexander.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Mayor Galvin, for once again hosting this special month, and Mr. Quinn and all your staff for helping us set up the beautiful lights and the ribbons, and Marie, of course, for all that you do in the office. 10 years ago, September meant to me back to school for the kids, nice fall weather, and my husband's birthday, as well as my late father's. But on March 8th, 2010, that all changed. That was the day that my husband, aunt, and I were in the ER at Floating Hospital for Children when the doctor came into the room after an ultrasound on my son Alexander had just had and said, "I'm sorry, but we had found a mass in Alexander's stomach. Someone from oncology will be down to speak to you." That mass was neuroblastoma, a rare form of cancer. Only about 600 children a year are diagnosed with it. Our world as we know it changed forever that day. Within a few hours of that diagnosis, Alexander was in a fully sedated MRI. He was only 8 months old at the time. Over the next 13 months, he would endure chemotherapy, over 100 transfusions, a combination of blood, platelet, and plasmas, 24-hour IV nutrition, and 12 surgeries. He also had a bone marrow transplant using his own stem cells. He spent 247 days as an inpatient at Floating Hospital for Children. He spent many other days in the outpatient clinic and had a nurse visit him at home on most days we were actually home from the hospital. On March 31st, 2011, he had a surgery at Children's Hospital in Boston that lasted 16 hours to try to remove some of his tumor. His little heart could not take it, and he took his last breath at April 1st, 2011 at 12:40 while in our arms. He was just 21 months old. Our lives were changed forever that day. We joined a club that no parent should ever have to join, the I Am a Parent of a Child Who Has Died Club. This club stinks, and the worst part of it is that you can never leave. You gain a lifetime membership. Each day is different. Sometimes it's easy to go through the day and you continue on your life. Other days, like today being the first day of school, it's just hard to get out of bed. Alexander would have been in 5th grade, and as you all know, here in Woburn, 5th grade is a big year for the kids because it's their last elementary school year. You might say, oh, you're just 2 years, 3 years out, that's why it's still so hard. I wish it was true. I have friends that are 5, 8, 10, 20 years or more as members of this club, and they all say the same thing. The tears never stop. We just had 8 years for us. Some people will tell you it gets easier, but it really doesn't. Yes, some days are easier, and you will get through it, but mostly it just gets different. In one of my support groups, we often say, you don't get over grief, you get through it. What I have found most helpful, though, is to participate in events such as this one, events that raise awareness and funds for pediatric cancer research or family support. When you are in this battle, you cannot do it alone. However, with the help of others, the seemingly impossible is just a little bit easier. I like to say that I have some of the best friends I wish I had never met, but I am glad I did, because they have helped me along the way through this journey. I find that helping others also helps me deal with my grief. I try to help those that are still in the battle and reach out to those that are new to the club. I also find giving back to the hospital in the way of toys for the children or gifts for the families. We also send snacks to the families at Floating once a month so that they don't have to think about going to the vending machine and not having money, or just at 3 in the morning when you get the munchies, they can go and grab something. Of course, I always send chocolate. There are many things you can do to help make a difference, and it does not require a lot of money or time. I'd be happy to speak to anyone after this evening about some ideas. It really can be the smallest thing that makes a difference. Thank you all for taking the time to come out tonight and support these families with children for what I like to call stupid cancer. Together, we can do great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, and I'm sure she doesn't like to be in that club that she belongs to after losing her son. No, one thing I learned from Nancy was that people that lose their child love to talk about their children. A lot of people are uncomfortable bringing up a person's child that has passed, and don't be afraid to bring their name up. If anything, they enjoy knowing that they're not forgotten. So please enjoy some wonderful music while you visit our awareness tables, which are to our left. They help fund the flags and the bows that are around the common. We have a gold fingernail painting table. You can paint your accent fingernail gold, and when someone asks you why, you can explain how Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is September, and gold is the color of the ribbon. Grab a gold balloon and a gold necklace to show that you are gold strong. Woburn Rocks the Woo has inspired us to help spread kindness. You can decorate a rock with a kind sentiment, wish, or remembrance of someone who has passed. Feel free to take a rock that's already decorated, or decorate one and leave one, or decorate one and take one home and put it in your own garden. You may also see Tony Stodden walking about. He's over there right now. His table is right over here. He represents Sophia's Fund, which benefits families battling childhood cancer. He will be talking right after we hear a few songs. And right now, without further ado, I will leave it to Buddy.
Ocean for a heart. searching for a heart of gold. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. Keep me searching and I'm growing. Keep me searching for a heart. I've been a miner for a heart of gold.
Have you been there recently? Totally different.
You're on the road. You must have a code that you can live by, and so you become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. And know they love you. And you, unattended, can know the fears that trails through by, and so please help them with your youth. They seek the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, the children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. And now they love you. We were born for the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the body boat was one as we sailed into the distance. Hark now, hear the sailors cry. Smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. When that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it now. I wanna rock you gypsy soul, just like we did way back in the days of old. Then magnificently we will float into this day. When that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. When that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it, and I don't have to feel it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like we did back in the days of old. Then magnificently we'll float into this day. Open my eyes, I've seen the years in the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could, seen the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. To my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long? 'Cause I have wandered through this world as each moment has unfurled, and I've been waiting to awaken from these dreams. People go just where they will. I'll never notice them until I got this feeling that it's later than it seems. To my eyes, oh, tell me what you see. I hear the cries, just say if it's too late for me. Cannot see the sky. Is this the price for having learned how not to cry? Just like children sleeping, we could dream this night away. There's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. Where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. 'Cause I'm still in love with you. I wanna see you dance again. 'Cause I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon.
that was beautiful? Thank you, buddy. I could listen to him all night. Tony kept saying he was going to do something big for Cole, his son, who passed away from childhood cancer. And every year, more and more gold has been shown in September. Last year, Tony fought his own battle with cancer, but he never gave up. This man's perseverance for children in their treatments for cancer is nothing short of amazing. Spreading awareness is the key to increase funding to find a cure. Perfect. And now our keynote speaker and the catalyst of this ceremony, I introduce you to Tony Stoddard. He is a Woburn native who has made his lifelong goal to raise childhood cancer awareness in memory of his son Cole.
Which one was weekend? Does it matter which one? Thank you, Mayor Galvin, for going gold once again for all children affected by cancer and their families. Your willingness to help raise childhood cancer awareness, as we are doing here tonight, has spread to towns and cities across the country. We are forever grateful to you. Thank you, Brenda Cerrone, for your hard work on this event year after year. You're truly amazing. Thank you, Buddy, for your incredibly beautiful music, and John Murphy, wherever you are. And thank you to the Woburn employees responsible for decorating the Common in Gold. Once again, they've done a fantastic job. And thanks to all of you for being here tonight in support of our kids. It's hard to believe this is the 7th year that Woburn has gone gold for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Time sure does fly when you're trying to change the world. And changing the world for kids battling cancer is exactly what we are doing. There is so much more gold across the world now in September than when we began. Childhood cancer awareness is now a runaway train, gaining speed and momentum each year. This increased awareness has led to legislation that is advancing new hope for our children battling cancer. Last year, the Childhood Cancer STAR Act passed the House and Senate and was signed into law. This STAR Act will help advance research efforts to discover new therapies and more humane treatments to save young lives and combat childhood cancer. Congress and even the President are now aware of the dire need to do more for our children affected by cancer. This year we came closer than ever to getting a president to light the White House gold in September. If not for a couple of unfortunate events that were out of our control, it would have happened. On the bright side, we have gained allies and support in his administration who will work with us to see this dream come true. I'm confident that next year when I speak here again, I'll be able to announce that the People's House is lit gold for the first time ever in recognition of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. This has been a difficult year for me personally. My cancer treatments have left me physically and emotionally drained. I did my best to use my own journey with cancer to help bring greater awareness to our kids' battle. But I must admit, about a month ago, I felt like I had run out of steam. Then weeks ago, I attended a fundraiser where I met a beautiful 12-year-old girl from New Hampshire named Allie, who's battling brain cancer and spine cancer for the 2nd time. Meeting Allie reminded me why I continue to do what I do, and she reignited my passion to keep fighting for kids like her. Let me tell you a little bit about Allie. I first met her back in July at one of a series of fundraisers put on by a group called Caden's Crusaders to benefit Allie, her family, and our organization, Sophia's Fund. When I arrived at this fundraiser, I spotted Allie immediately. She was so full of energy, running around frolicking with her cousins, getting up on stage and playing tambourine with the band, simply living life to the fullest, just like every child should be able to do. Except for her bald head, you would never know that she was battling cancer for the second time. Later, I was introduced to her mom. I posed with Allie for a few pictures and we chatted and joked for a while. I wasn't feeling very well, so soon after I said goodbye and headed home. A month later, I attended another fundraiser for Allie and our charity. As soon as I stepped into the hall where it was being held, Allie's mom came up to me and said that all day her daughter kept asking, "Is the man with gold on his hand going to come?" Her mom didn't know what she meant, but when she saw me, she remembered that I had the word gold tattooed on my hand. Just then, Allie saw me and ran over to give me the biggest hug. It was so good to see her again, and it was pure joy to see her happy and active. I sat with my wife, Michelle, and we watched Allie light up the room, stealing everyone's heart, including ours. Towards the end of the event, they drew the winning name of the 50-50 raffle. Allie won, just shy of $300. They called her up on stage and we waited to hear what she had to say. However, she whispered into the ear of the woman presenting the prize and then ran over to her mom and whispered something to her. They both smiled, and then she went back on stage, pointed to me, and announced that she wanted to give the money she won to Sophia's fund. She walked over to me, handed me the money, which I tried to give back to her, but she was adamant that I take it, and we shared a long hug. I kept telling her how much I loved her and how incredible she was. Then she ran off to play some more. Don't tell Allie, but when she wasn't looking, I gave the money back to her mom. Allie and her family are exactly the ones that we try to help through Sophia's fund. This story is about the type of amazing, loving, selfless kids we are fighting for. This is why we go gold in September. Because kids like Allie need and deserve greater awareness, funding, and research. This harsh world cannot afford to lose kids like this. To Allie, I guess I am the man with gold in my hand. And this little girl with a golden heart reminded me why I continue to climb mountains for kids with cancer. Thank you, Allie, for inspiring me to do more. I will climb every mountain put in my way for you and for every child who faces this monster called childhood cancer. I will never give up fighting until every child who faces cancer has the best chance to live longer, happier, healthier lives. Having cancer takes so much out of you, but strangely enough, thanks to Allie, I found something that it gives you. While we were driving home from the fundraiser, I told my wife how deeply touched I was that Allie felt so connected to me. My wife said she believed that children with cancer feel a bond with others like myself that have cancer, because they feel that we know what they are going through. Well, if that's the price for having cancer, then I'm willing to pay that price. Once again, thank you all for being here for our kids. Go gold in September. It all begins with awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. A note of thanks to Mayor Galvin for hosting this wonderful event, and to Lenny Burnham and the DPW for all their hard work with the lights, the flags, the gold bows, and the setup, and to Marie Lingbloom for all her help behind the scenes, and the Woburn Police Department for their presence in helping us cross the street safely. And thank you to all the city officials for showing their support for such a great cause. And of course, all you guys for showing up too. Hope to see you next year. The ceremony is always the first Thursday in September. I know it's tough because it seems to always be the first day of school also, so I really appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you for coming to the 7th Gold Lighting Ceremony for Childhood Cancer Awareness. We leave you with a recorded Celtic prayer by Bill Douglas. That concludes today.
you.